hope folks can hear me and see me. This is Walter Fields, chairman of the Black Parents Workshop. It's February 27th, 2018. This morning we filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court in the District of New Jersey in Newark against the South Orange Maplewood school districts based upon allegations of violations of federal and state laws stemming from discriminatory practices and policies that the South Orange Maplewood School District has waged against African American students now for almost 2 decades. This lawsuit is really born out of frustration of seeing a school district that continually refuses to do the right thing by African American children based upon a history of tracking and leveling of African American children, based upon a history of disproportionate punishment and a history of de facto segregation in its K-5 elementary schools. Our intention in filing this lawsuit is to, for once and for all, reform this school district. This lawsuit has implications that are as great as Brown versus Board of Education and will have repercussions across the state and nationally. In 1954, the issue was separate but equal. In 2018, this issue is now equal but separate, where we have African Americans who live in the same community as whites, oftentimes in the same neighborhoods, but are still separated by race in schools and separated by race in classrooms. So in Columbia High School, all students enter the front door, and then classrooms are segregated by race. The school district's own data confirms this. State assessments confirm this. The outcome, the post-graduation outcome of high school graduates of Columbia High School confirms this. And it's time once and for all for this school district to pony up, admit to its shortcomings, and put forth a comprehensive plan that will, number one, de-level the school district, number two, in tracking, number three, integrate our elementary schools, and number four, discontinue the use of punishment in a punitive and disproportionate way against African American students. Standing with me today is the legal counsel for the Black Parents Workshop, Robert Tarver, and I will let him give you a little more information on the lawsuit, the basis of law, and our plaintiffs.
Sure, thank you. We're at a legal crossroads in America, and Maplewood is reflective of that. Several years ago, the Office of Civil Rights, along with Maplewood, sat down and came to an agreement about how Maplewood would deal with its racial problems in the schools. The Township of Maplewood, the South Orange Maplewood School District, decided that they would enter into this agreement voluntarily. And here we are some 4 years after that. They've done absolutely nothing to meet their obligations. And so what we've done is we've done what we've had to do, which is to force them to meet their obligation. Our lawsuit was filed this morning in Federal District Court in New Jersey. We are alleging violations of Title I, Title VI, and violations of Section 1983 of the Civil Rights Act. All of these sections mandate that in education and other areas, that there be no discrimination with regard to race. We've been able to identify areas of discrimination, discrete areas of discrimination in the South Orange Maplewood School District. Indeed, they have agreed that there are areas of discrimination, and they've done absolutely nothing about it. Our lawsuit asks for some specific relief. We have asked for a number of different things, including the appointment of a special master to oversee that. We don't have the confidence that the South Orange Maplewood School District has the ability to supervise itself, because it has not done so, even when it entered into a voluntary agreement to do that. Again, we're seeking different forms of compensation. Most of what we're looking for is to have the district comply with what it agreed to do years ago. We want to make sure that African American children are protected. African American children are disproportionately disciplined in this district. They are forced into certain level of classes where they don't belong, and they're not allowed to move from those classes when white students clearly are. And so we have taken this historic step in the mold of Brown versus Board of Education. Our lawsuit lays out clearly the parameters, the actions of the South Orange Maplewood School District. We have included also the social science behind this, very much like Brown versus Board, because we believe that a court a jury, or anyone who is looking at this particular complaint needs to know the historical parameters of racial segregation and discrimination, as well as the specific instances in the South Orange Maplewood School District and how the two intersect. We believe that any reasonable person looking at this lawsuit, and I implore everyone to take a look at this lawsuit, take a look at the facts that we have set forth in this particular suit, and decide for yourself whether or not the school district is doing what they should do. I believe that we've set forth more than enough facts to justify our claims in this matter.
Thank you, Robert. Among the relief that we are requesting from the court, the establishment of a $5 million fund for families of African American students enrolled in the South Orange Maplewood School District during the period 2014 to 2017 for the purpose of academic support in the form of tutoring, counseling, and compensatory education. The establishment of a $2 million fund for the purposes of recruiting, hiring, and retaining African American teachers. This fund is to be used to cover the cost of recruitment, travel, teacher bonuses, and relocation packages. The allocation of $2 million for targeted support of students with disabilities in level 3 courses to facilitate their transition to more rigorous courses. The allocation of $1.5 million for a longitudinal study of African American students' post-graduation outcomes for the years 2000 to 2017, and the designation of a $2 million fund for the purposes of academic enrichment programming targeting African Americans and Latino students, grades K through 12. What the public should understand about this lawsuit is that this was done with great care, with great focus, and great attention. There will be those who will doubt the legitimacy of this lawsuit, but we also know Brown versus Board of Education, when that case was filed, there were those that discounted the legitimacy of that historic Supreme Court case. So what we're telling the public today is that we have an opportunity in South Orange and Maplewood to do right by African American children in two communities that have not done right by African American children. And if you trace the history in our two communities, you will see, and the complaint clearly lays out, that this system of tracking and leveling was instituted precisely at the same time that the African American population in both South Orange and Maplewood increased. So between 1990 and 2000, where we saw an increase in the black population in these two communities, what we also saw was the implementation of a rigid system of tracking and leveling to segregate African American students from white students. And we think that in 2018, in this community, in these two communities, it is high time for the Board of Education to finally, once and for all, fix these egregious practices and treat all students equally, and particularly give African American students the education that they are legally entitled to. So we encourage you to go to the Black Parents Workshop website. After 4 p.m. we will post this complaint as well as the exhibits, and we certainly welcome any individuals who have questions about this complaint to contact us directly. Our email is blackparentsworkshop@gmail.com. Thank you.